Robert Frost's For Once Then Something. Others taunt me with having knelt at well curbs, always wrong to the light, so never seeing deeper down in the well than where the water gives me back, in a shining surface picture, me, myself, in the summer, heaven godlike, looking out of a wreath of fern and cloud puffs. Once, when trying with chin against a well curb, I discerned, as I thought, beyond the picture, through the picture, as something white, uncertain, something more of the depths, and then I lost it. Water came to rebuke the too clear water. One drop fell from a fern, and lo, a ripple shook whatever it was lay there at the bottom. Blurred it, blotted it out. What was that whiteness? Truth? A pebble of quartz? For once, then something. In this poem, the poet, a rural dweller, has often been taunted and ridiculed by people for kneeling on the boundary of the village well on the wrong side, so that light was obstructed and he could not see clearly into the well. The well was dark and he could see only up to the surface of water at the bottom of the well. He could only see there a mirror image of his own face, of his own godlike image, shining out of a wreath of ferns and cloud puffs. As Breuer and Lawrence Thompson both agree, the use of the word godlike for his own image indicates the poet's self-centered nature or his narcissism, clearly reflected through the references to the Greek Narcissus. However, one day, as he was looking into the well, with his chin resting on the boundary of the wall, his vision could penetrate through the water surface and his own image on it, and see underneath the surface, in the depths of the well, something white. He was not sure what it was. He could see it only for an instant, and then it vanished. He could see it no more, for a ripple was caused in the water, and in all probability by the falling of a drop of water from the ferns growing overhead. It was as if more water, in the form of a drop from above, had come to reproach the water in the well for allowing the poet to have that visualization. As soon as the ripples were formed on the water, as soon as the water surface was shaken, the vision the poet had seen vanished entirely. Since then he has always wondered what that whiteness was. Was it a vision of truth he had, or was it simply a piece of stone? Who can answer this question? The poet could have this transitory vision of something at the bottom of the well only once, and has ever since tried to comprehend its meaning and significance, but to no avail. On the exterior, the lyric is quite straightforward, but in reality, it is a symbolic poem, symbolising man's never-ending pursuit of knowledge of truth and the ambiguity of life and death. It is only in uncommon moments that man can have a fleeting vision of truth, which he can see into the heart of things. It is like peering into a dark well day after day, and the vision of truth, even if at all it is granted, would be momentary and mysterious and vague. The poem is about the human search for truth, the deeper meaning of things, or life in general. The speaker expresses their frustration in feeling thus far, but more satisfied by the end, as there has been a momentary glimpse at what he is searching for. The well is symbolic of him searching for something with deep meaning, but it is beyond his reach. Frost's concern is beyond the literal. The poem acts as a metaphor for searching for deeper meaning, a metaphor for life. Most of our existence is beyond our understanding, but on occasion and briefly a truth is revealed. We have an epiphany. The singularity and the brevity of the moment becomes a metaphor for all such moments in life. This is shown through the physical image of man looking down and searching for something at the bottom of the well, further reinforcing the fact that whatever it is he is searching for is entirely out of reach. The lyric recalls the saying of the Greek philosopher Democritus, "Of truth we know nothing, for truth lies at the bottom of a well." With Frost, as with Democritus, the immediate emphasis is noticeably on the definitive truth, but the symbolic overtones of the opening lines imply that the speaker has previously acknowledged to others his own limitations of insight with regard to the ultimate truth. The entire tone reflects the poet's rather cunning and teasing delight in establishing an indirect antithesis between the conceded certainties of some conventional views and the apprehensiveness of the poet's own confusing viewpoint. It includes his inclination to come within reach of truth, accommodating and accentuating the restrictions of human knowledge. Man's observation of truth can only be unclear and comparative. He can never arrive at absolute truth, but still the pursuit must go on. Now let's consider the themes and ideas explored. There seems to be a lot of uncertainty in this poem regarding what the speaker sees in the well, a pebble, the truth, or a moment of insight. The incident of seeing something in a well takes on a wider metaphorical meaning, the absence of any absolute truth or meaning in life generally. This could be about the art of writing poetry, isolation or alienation, or, according to the new SEA specification, the idea of self-discovery. Now let's consider the form and structure. This is lyric in form. There is one stanza with no stanza division, a continuous poem represented by his continuous search for answers. Now let's look at the rhyme scheme. The no rhyme scheme, or irregular and complex rhyme scheme, teamed with the lack of stanzas, serves to reflect the mindset of the speaker, unclear, uncertain, lacking in structure and order. The rhythm, 11-syllable lines, ending each line on an unaccented syllable, going beyond his normal use of iambic pentameter, the 10 syllables. This could possibly be representing his attempt to go beyond his normal realm of experience. The lines that end with a falling foot, with no rhyme scheme, creates a sense of tentativeness and uncertainty. Also note the use of questions throughout to further reinforce this uncertainty. The short lyric was published in 1923 in the New Hampshire volume of poems. It seems that it narrates a very simple commonplace happening in a pastoral setting, but actually is Frost's observation on the human search for truth and man's attempt at the unravelling of the mystery of life. Before we analyse language and imagery, first let's take a look at the title, For Once, Then Something. The title emphasises the singularity of this experience. By placing the title at the top and finishing the poem with it, it almost reinforces this as an isolated, individual experience, something self-contained. The first 6 lines of this poem are one sentence. The extensive use of enjambment reflects his frustration and his outpouring of thoughts. There's a sense of bitterness imbued in the line, Others taunt me with having knelt at well curbs, the use of others emphasising his isolation. Furthered through his verb choice, taunt, there's a sense of superiority or arrogance. The choice of the word knelt brings to mind, as if in prayer, that the speaker is desperate for answers, for the intervention of a higher power or some sort of spiritual fulfilment. An image of a vain persona is presented, reinforced through the imagery knelt at well curbs, like Narcissus, further depicting the persona as somewhat arrogant, and further through the classical or religious allusion in godlike and heaven. Enduring the search for truth, at well curbs, deeper meanings, the speaker is determined. There's imagery of vanity and sight, picture me, surface and looking. Always wrong to the light, we can see what one side, he's always on one side so that the light is obstructed, symbolic of his lack of enlightenment, the obstacles in his search. Also note the never saying, again a reference to the lack of enlightenment of the speaker. The juxtaposition of the enjambed, deeper down and shining surface is important because it shows the contrast between shallow and philosophically deep. The alliteration of deeper down emphasises his frustration in seeing anything beyond the physical boundaries of the water. Gives me back. Here we can see in the 4th line that the well is giving him back what he already knows, the physical. Yet he seeks something more, something beyond his knowledge and beyond the physical, something deeper, not the perfect physical or natural world that he is describing. The sibilance of shining surface emphasises the beauty of the reflection, but since that is not the poet's concern, he fails to fully appreciate it. Now if we look at the line, wrong to the light, there is a negative tone here, condemning those who fail to search for more. This could possibly be a metaphor for his critics who imply his work is shallow or superficial. Alternatively, it could be a critique of the human desire to search for deeper meaning in life, which will always be elusively out of reach. Note the pastoral imagery of wreath, fern, cloud puffs, attempting to forge deep connections with nature and grasp at some sort of meaning to life and human existence. The simile, godlike, is again associated with imagery of vanity, depicting the speaker as self-centred, only concerned with himself and his enlightenment, reinforcing the isolation from others expressed at the start of the poem. Note the use of italics with once. emphasizing his frustrated tone that he has only had this insight just the once. Also note the further uncertainty in "as I thought," juxtaposed with the apparent certainty of "I discerned," the caesura of the comma emphasizing this further. The frequent caesura reflects the speaker's uncertainty of what they saw, their desperation at finding something, also creating a fast pace, experiencing breathless excitement of the speaker having finally found something, but also frantically trying to find it, focus on it before it's gone fully. Note the use of the preposition through in through the picture as something white uncertain. The preposition makes it seem that he has glimpsed at something beyond the physical, or the pursuit of enlightenment, a deeper meaning. Something white and uncertain again suggests a vagueness of what he seeks, yet also the purity of his pursuit through the connotations of the colour white. There seems to be a brevity of the moment of insight in the "and then I lost it." The caesura here is slowing the pace and reflecting the speaker's immediate disappointment. The repetition of something emphasises the theme of indistinctiveness or uncertainty, reinforced through "I thought" and "whatever," furthering the narrative uncertainty or confusion. The singularity of the experience is emphasised in the words "for once." There is a momentary feeling that he has moved beyond doubt and uncertainty. Note the sound patterning through the alliteration and sibilance in "deeper down, well than where the water, me myself, fell from a fern," that recreates the echo of the well, as well as the sibilance of "shining surface." Note the personification of the natural world. The water came to rebuke the too clear water. Here he condemns humans for attempting to find a deeper meaning. Water from above comes to rebuke the water in the well for allowing the speaker any kind of insight, as if, as humans, we are not fully supposed to understand. Note the strong verb shook, ascribed to the drop of water, showing how easy it is for the insight to be quickly taken away. The diction "it" is vague. Whatever it was lay there at the bottom, blurred it, blotted it. This is important because the vague terms continue the sense of mystery and uncertainty as to what is there. Note the alliterative "blurred it, blotted it out," emphasising that the fleeting moment of insight is gone. There is a barrier between mankind and true knowledge that is left intact, emphasising the abstract nature of what the speaker sees, maintaining the element of mystery and uncertainty, also making the sound of the water droplet. The fact that it only takes one drop emphasises the fragility of human knowledge when searching for the meaning in life. The rhetorical question and alliteration, "what was that whiteness?" furthers the theme of uncertainty or doubt. There is an eagerness for answers shown through the alliteration used in this line. His frustration is gone, as there is at least something out there of substance, no matter how small. He is curious and inquisitive, as shown through the tone, achieved through the rhetorical questions. The juxtaposition of something as deep and meaningful as truth with something as external and tangible as a pebble of quartz emphasises how mankind can never really grasp true insight. The use of the rhetorical question shows his attempt to discern what he saw. There seems to be no sense of resolution by the end, as any questions that he has are not answered and there's little clarity experienced by the speaker. Satisfaction comes from the fact that at least something has happened. There's a sense of gratitude from the speaker. Note the caesura in the final line, "for once, then something." This creates an audible pause and emphasises the fleeting moment of knowledge or truth. There's a contemplating tone that accepts this brief insight that he has been given. His tone is more content than his initial frustration. Although not complete contentment is reached, there is more optimism. "For once" emphasises the singularity of the experience. Despite not seeing fully the something and not understanding its significance, the speaker is content at finally having something for his efforts, something to ponder. He ascribes significance to something seemingly insignificant, and ending with the title also suggests that the speaker's search for enlightenment is some sort of unending cycle.